mirrors my own experience very well. I'm inspired by people like David Goggins too. He's a personal hero of mine. In a part of my life, I really needed that energy. I was completely overwhelmed by where I was, right? And I did for like a year or two, just went on this journey of like just David Goggins, hard soul grinding, 7 days a week, 16 hours a day, listening to him obsessively about, to take a guy this fucked up, it's going to take utter hard work. And that's the interesting thing, right? My real pain point, what really drove my journey was I wanted to be better with people. I wanted to be more connected with people. I wanted a network. I wanted to be around people, right? I wanted a great thriving community around me. It was really important because I'm a person who had severe social anxiety. I'm sure you've encountered other people like you've had that in the past. I mean, goodness, it is a goodness. It brings back some memories, but like those are very cruel and tormenting disorders because we're human and social animals. I'm very blessed to have all the friends I have now. I'm a very popular guy. I've got tons of friends. My life is abundant, dude. It's fucking abundant. Right. I'm good with people. I'm liked. It's a fantastic thing. You know, my online writings on my little community, 700,000 people read this. This is a beautiful thing. I'm not alone in the world by any stretch. It's amazing. But that was a big driver for me to change. And here's where the middle ground, as you were outlined there, like awoken to this a lot. Dude, that hard grinding only got me so far. It only got me so far. In my relationships, in my development. As hard as I tried with that, like pushing myself just to go out and, talk to people like every day. I did that literally for a year and a half, like every day. Exposure therapy to get over that, right? But could I form the connections, like in my dating life? I couldn't understand why I'd just be ghosted all the time and why like I wasn't relatable to people. I had just no emotions. I was, like you say, I was the definition of shut down, dude. I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't. Like it was just intense. I was in ice baths every day. I was doing all this fucking shit, like intense, intense as David Goggins, right? And I had to actually work with somebody to understand this, right? I had to actually get some support and get some understanding. Like, why can't I form like stronger bonds, right? And fact of the matter is that pushing and that grinding, it can be useful. It will get you so far. The the awakening that I had was about like, life is really about people. People are what make this a great experience. To connect with them like properly and authentically, you have to be a whole person. You have to like integrate aspects of yourself. You have to feel your emotions. I had suppressed anger actually. I had suppressed anger. I talked to Pete about this actually when I did a podcast with him. Um, yeah, and it took actually in my case, a coach who made me aware. Like one of my mentors to this day, right? He pointed this out. To link into what you said there, Ben, about how you've got the data points. You've sat there 15 years, you've seen all these things. You can pattern recognize what is in your brain is over a decade of experience. You've seen these things, so you can spot it, right? I needed someone else to do that for me. Like so, one of my mentors, his name's Mario. He's a brilliant, brilliant guy, right? Very, very successful, powerful, like very masculine kind of Italian CEO who came into my life a couple of years ago, just invested in me, just helped me. And
Mm.
he had this like discussion with me, which was it gave me like a mental breakdown. I couldn't believe it. I was like crying. It was horrible. And he expressed to me, dude, as hard working as you are like a robot. You are just like you have no emotions. I've been here. I've spent a week with you here, right? Because I hung out with him in Krakow. It's just everything is just purely logical. You have no emotions, dude. And it's not that they're not there. In fleeting moments, I see they are. But this is the reason why you're not forming proper relationships. This is why in dating, it's just very surface level for you. And if you wanna, you wanna start a family and all these sorts of things, you're gonna have to figure this out. And of course, I then embarked on solving that. That's where I, had to humble myself and admit that at that point in my life, I didn't know that it is about integration.